Because Christmas over there is when snow has filled everywhere. And the place has gone to -10, -15. And your blood in your nose become ice block. And your finger become ice block. You can't close your hand like this. It becomes frozen. The blood becomes frozen. Those of you who are praying to go to America, prepare to become ice block. So my father used to come during Christmas. He come like Father Christmas and disappear like Father Christmas. I didn't know my papa very well. When I reached the age of 18, 19, we received a news from Africa that you better come back to Nigeria if you want to see your father. The man is about to die. Come fast. That was how the family, we buy air ticket and we came back to Nigeria to see our father for the last time. When we entered the room where my father was lying on the bed, crying and screaming like a baby. Hey, hey, see, Nemo, see over there, see. Ah, see another one. That was how my father was screaming until he died. The Bible says, whosoever you give your body, your members over to obey, his servants you are. If you are a womanizer, the day you die, the demon of fornication and adultery will come to escort you to hell. My father was seeing all the demons that he has been working with coming to escort him to hell. And that was how my father cried and cried until he died. And when my father died, that was when I came to know who is my father. Who is my father? Well, I told you the other day that the most powerful secret cult society in the whole of Nigeria is called the Ogboni fraternity. In Ogboni, before you can become a governor, the Senate president, or whether a senator or a president or whatever, you must know how to pound live baby in the mortar and eat the flesh raw. And you must do that periodically, 3 months, 6 months to maintain your seat. My father was not just an ordinary member of the Ogboni, he was the national and international president and high priest of Ogboni in the 70s. My father's house in Calabar was the national and international headquarters of Ogboni for the whole southern part of Nigeria. As my father died, we were confused. The family does not know what to do. And in those days, you don't have telephone, no mobile phone. It was just about 1 hour from his death. We have not told anybody, we have not informed anyone that this man has died. But within 1 hour, 20 minutes, all the leading Ogboni men from all over Nigeria, from Enugu, Port Harcourt, Lagos, everywhere, Abuja, they landed. Who told them? Which aeroplane did they enter? They landed. And they say, we have heard that your papa has died. We have come to carry out the last rites before the day of burial. And so they entered that small room and we were all waiting in the parlor for them to finish. When they finished, they called us to come and see our papa before the day of burial. As we entered that place, we noticed blood was coming out from the loins of our father. Because in Ogboni, when the man in charge dies, the next man to take over, you either eat his heart or his private parts. Are you still there? Yes, sir. Okay. We are here. We're not going. They fixed the burial. On the day of burial, if you came for the burial of my father, because my father was not just Ogboni, he was a 33-degree Freemason. My father, the Nigerian Constitution of 1975 My father is in the constitutional committee that wrote that constitution. My father was an international lawyer that used to represent Nigeria. He has traveled to 23 countries of the world representing Nigeria in international law. Before you can become a leading lawyer in Nigeria, you must be a 33-degree Freemason. That was my papa. In Calabar, Cross River State, where I come from, the most powerful traditional cults. You have it also in Akwa Ibom and parts of Igbo land. When you talk of Ohafia, Abriba, that cult is called Ekpe. Ekpe means the lion. The cult of the lion. My father was what you call Obong Ekpe, the king and the custodian of Ekpe. Whether you go traditional or you go national or you go international, my papa was the man in charge. He was a very wonderful man. On the day of my father's burial, if you came for that burial and entered my father's house and compound, you would have poo-poo and pee-pee in your pants. Because of all the demon and masquerade that came for that burial. The day of my father's burial, it was headlined in every newspaper in Nigeria. I still have some of those newspapers. And all the who's who in Nigeria came for my father's burial. All the demon of Nigeria, they came. And after my father was buried, my mama, all my brothers and sisters, they all left Nigeria and went back to London. I'm the only one who remained in Nigeria. Why? Because the hand of God came upon my life. And God said to me, leave your motherland, go to your fatherland for the healing and deliverance of your people. I was not disobedient to God. I left everything, sold all my properties overseas, came to Nigeria, and now my father has been buried. And after the burial of my father, I entered at my father's house. My father has a very mighty house, mighty compound. I entered that place. When I entered that place, as I entered the parlor, there's nobody in the whole compound. Nobody. But I was hearing people in the backyard talking, pounding water. I said, what is going on here? I went to the backyard. You will not see any human being, but you'll be hearing people talking. They are talking. Everybody is talking, but you don't see anybody. I came back to that parlor. I closed the door of the parlor and I entered inside. As I entered inside the parlor, I sat down on the chair of my father. When I sat down, the door I have just closed opened by itself. And closed again. Chakam. And then all of the windows began to open and close simultaneously by themselves. I was 20 years of age. That was when I became one-man prayer squad. One-man prayer team. I am just coming from London that time. In London, we don't believe in witchcraft. In London, we don't believe in mami water. But in less than 48 hours, I became a very strong believer in everything. And I became a powerful prayer warrior. And I had to pray to survive. Because that house was not an ordinary house. It was the national headquarters of the most powerful cult in the whole of Africa. And I refused to pack from that house. Why? Because my father was a very great man. He had houses in London, central London. He had three-story house. 3 of them, Finsbury Park. You come to Heathrow Airport, my father has duplex. You come to Lagos, my father has houses everywhere. You come to where I am, my city, my father has houses. But when my father died, in less than 1 year, all the properties of my father disappeared from the family. Do you know if your father or your uncle or your auntie is a member of a secret society, they can never give you any help. They can never support you. They can never help you in this life. Unless you are ready to bow down and be initiated into that same cult. You see, when my father died, I could have become one of the richest men in the whole of my part of Africa because my father was a very successful man. All I needed to do was to bow down and be initiated and carry the mantle of my father demon. But when I saw how my father died, like chicken, crying, see over there, when I saw the strong man of Satan crying like chicken, and they say if you want all the wealth of your father, you have to collect the mantle of your father. I said, no, me, I will be wiser than my father. I will never follow the God, the demon of my father. I will follow the God of my mama. I will worship this Jesus. I will follow Jesus. I will live for Jesus. I will die for Jesus. Because Jesus is a superpower. Somebody shout Jesus! And because I decided to worship Jesus, all the properties of my father disappeared. The only property that remained in the family was that my father's house, which was the headquarters of Ogboni. And I said, I will not leave that place. Me, I will not leave. Oh. And the demon also in that house, they said, we too, we no go leave. It means that every night I cannot sleep. I learned to pray in the night and sleep in the daytime. I learned to live a fasted life. That time I used to fast 3 months, 6 months, 8 months. After about 8 months, from 6 to 6. I fast every day until all my body, all my nights, everything finished. Because of evil foundation of my father's house. Are we still there? Yeah. The more I fast, the more demons fight me. The more I pray, the more the demons say, you are wasting your time. Oh. Until all my heaven close. All my window close. All my ways close. Even to eat 1 meal a day become a tug of war. I said, God, which kind of life is this? What is this? And then I remember, in my father's house, nobody has ever succeeded to marry. Every marriage scatter. My father owned, scatter. My uncle, scatter. My auntie, scatter. All my brothers and sisters, no marriage work. In my family, nobody has ever clocked 52 years. You die. High blood pressure, hypertension, stroke, heart attack, you die. In my family, nobody can count money. In my family, everybody wretched. Then I remember that my father, there's one room in that my father's house. Nobody has ever entered there. They call it Sanctum Sanctonium. That is the room my father kept all of his satanic altar and juju and shrine and medicine. Sanctum Sanctonium. I was 21 years of age. I said, if I perish, I perish. I have to break into the Sanctum Sanctonium. I did not go with any pastor, but I went with Jesus. I want to tell you, one man with Jesus is a majority. I entered that place. What I saw in that place, fear gripped me. That was when I came to know who is my father. And I began to fear my father. And I've never told anybody, and I will not tell anybody what I saw there, but I saw terrible things. And I packed all of those things into the floor outside, the thing from the floor heap like this. And I poured petrol. As I was pouring the petrol, people were standing very far, very, very far. They were watching me. They said, oh, this small boy who just came from London. Oh, this fine boy. This thing, he doesn't know. This thing will kill him. Oh, they have killed this boy. Oh, this thing don't kill this boy. This boy don't die. He don't die. They don't kill him. All the people who say they have killed me, all of them today, they have all died. But this is me, 36 years later, bouncing and dancing and shining and firing, because the Jesus we serve is not a dead God. He is the final authority in the realm of the spirit, in the physical realm. When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. When Jesus is on your side, you can face any mountain. Somebody say, I believe. That was how I destroyed those altars of my father's house at the age of 21. And after destroying all the altars of Ogboni and Freemason and Ekpe, I thought my battle was over. I did not know that was the beginning of my sorrow. That one, everything in my life became dry. And I entered 10 years of wilderness. 10 years, nothing worked for me. 10 years of frustration. And one day I became so frustrated. I said, God, I will not accept this any longer. I am going to sell this, my father's property, gather the money, and go back to London. You say I am here for deliverance of my father's house, but I cannot deliver even myself. So I am going. And I have settled the agreement. We were just to sign the agreement and collect the money. That same day I was to collect the money, God came down. And God said to me, my son, the reason why you are still in pepper soup and wahala. You did well to come from London. You did well to destroy the altar of Ogboni and Freemason and Ekpe in your father's house. But my son, those are the modern demons. You have not dealt with the ancient satanic altars in your father's village. You have to go to your father's village. That there is an altar in your father's village. That your papa was the custodian of that very evil altar. And because that altar began to react, he ran away from that thing and entered this one for security. This one is just the modern one, but the taproot, the real one is in your village. So you have to go to your village and deal with that evil satanic altar. If you don't do that, even though you are a child of God, you are a man of God, you will die a useless death. I have to go to my village. My village? Which one is my village? I don't know my village. When I was born, before I can even speak one word, they have carried me to London. Nobody has taken me to my village. And my father did not tell me the name of my village. I don't know. And I don't even know who is my uncle or my auntie or my cousin or my nephew. My father never introduced any of us to our relation. Why? Witches and wizards very plenty. So he didn't introduce us. I don't know any family member. I don't know my village. I don't know the road to my village. And God said, if you don't go to your village and handle that altar, you will die. How will I locate that village? I have to kneel down every day for 5 months and ask God, please, anywhere I have any relation, whether uncle, auntie, cousin, nephew, niece, I beg, bring them. I pray that prayer for 5 months. I don't see anyone. At the end of 5 months, by that time I was a pastor. I become a pastor now in Assemblies of God. Very useless and frustrated pastor. I went to preach one day. When I came back from the preaching, I saw 5 very, very wretched, very terrible, dreadful, awful, dry,
useless looking, crippled, scattered, battered, shattered, woeful human beings standing on the veranda of my father's house, looking like refugees from Afghanistan. And they said to me, brother, your own papa and our own papa all come from the same papa, brother.
Hello? If you want to know the depth of your frustration, just examine your own brothers and sisters. It's called family spirit, familiar spirit. The same demon that is fighting them is the same demon that is fighting you. Are we still together? Yeah. I was so happy to see them. I had prayed for 5 months for them to appear. I told them, please, tell me everything about my background, my foundation. Who is my papa, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, even the village I come from. Tell me everything. Brother, you come from a village called Obodi, them inside Creektown in Ojupani local government area. Brother, your great-grandfather, his name was Ibara Ibo. That man collected a juju from a place called Abam in Arachuku. That juju was so powerful, he can appear and disappear. Turn from human being to animal, from animal back to human being. No machete, no bullet can enter him. He was a very powerful warrior. And because of that juju and that power, he used to conquer entire communities and pack them down to this place as slave. He was #1 slave trade dealer in those days, brother. So added to Obuni and Freemason and Ekpe, I have a great-grandfather who can appear and disappear. And the blood of thousands of slaves is crying for vengeance. Brother, when your great-grandfather was to die, he handed over that juju to your grandfather. The name of your grandfather is Efiong. Efiong is the water spirit that controls the whole of Calabar. By right, my name is supposed to be Theodore, Bassey, Efiong. But my father, who is an occult man, removed Efiong and put Theodore and put Efiong. I pray that your name is not the name of a demon. Do you know some people's name is the name of demon? Brethren, these people were telling me something. They said, brother, that your grandfather, he collected that juju from your great-grandfather and turned that juju to a shrine and became the chief native doctor in the whole of that area. And people began to come to consult him. He was a very powerful native doctor, your own grandfather. And there was a day, a woman came with 9 months of pregnancy to deliver the child. And the oracle spoke and said, put the woman and the child there for sacrifice. And your father, your grandfather decided to have mercy and deliver the child alive. And the oracle said, both you and the woman, and both, because you have saved this woman and this child, your life must go for their life. That was how my grandfather died on top of the shrine. When my grandfather died on top of the shrine, my own papa, he picked race and ran for his life and entered Ogboni and Freemason and Ekpe for protection. Are we still together? Yes. So, brother, now God bring you come. Now your papa have died. You are the next person to take over that shrine. Brother, that shrine needs sacrifice. So it needs human blood. And because there's nobody to sacrifice the human blood, the demon entered the family and start from the eldest. That's why none of us can reach 50 years of age. So brother, now God bring you come. you will come to the village and offer sacrifice so that this nonsense in our family will stop. I said to them, brother, your head is not correct. They said to me, brother, you don't understand this thing, oh. That when your father died, seeing there was nobody to offer the sacrifice, the demon now entered your father's brother, your uncle. And one day, your father's brother became like a madman. He took machetes and slaughtered all his children. After slaughtering his children, he carried rope and committed suicide and hung himself. I screamed. I said, hey! So this thing that happened to my senior brother about 5 or 6 months ago, I now understand. 6 months before this time, my immediate senior brother came from London to pick his child. He has one small boy that he impregnated one young girl in Calabar, and he was coming from London to pick that child. He has never seen that child before, but it is his child. As he landed in the house to collect that child, that demon entered my brother. Instead of greeting that child, he slapped the child. Began to beat the child to nonsense. People grabbed my brother. I said, my friend, are you correct? My brother fights with everybody. He said, leave me, leave me. Today, I will kill this child. After killing him, I kill myself. We have to bundle my senior brother, get return ticket, and send him back to London. That was how my senior brother escaped this thing. I screamed. I said, so this thing that you people are talking, the thing entered my brother and he has escaped. And now, after him, now me. This thing is not a talking matter. Tomorrow morning, we are going to the village. That was how I landed in my village for the first time in my life. At the age of 31. By this time, 10 years has passed. I'm cutting story because of time. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Make I continue? When I landed in my village at the age of 31, the moment I landed there, I asked all those my cousin and nephew to take me to that altar. They said, brother, we not serving, we don't know, we don't understand where that altar is. The generation that know everything about that altar have already died, finished. We only used to hear the story about that altar. But none of us have ever gone to the altar. Hey! What will I do now? Then one of them said, brother, it's not all over. It's remaining one old Baba. Everybody in the family died. That Baba, he refused to die. And the man is very, very old. Brother, as we are talking to you, where you see the stream, the village stream, that man where the walker passed now him. As I look, I saw one old Baba. The man was so old. You know the walker like this. In a walker like this. I went and greeted the Baba. I saluted the Baba. I said, Baba, I am the son of Ibada Ibo, the son of Efiong, the son of Efiong. My name is Theodore. Baba looked at me. He said, I know you now. I know you. I know you very well. Even before you came here, I saw you coming. My stomach went brrrr. Then Baba asked me one terrible question. Why do you come here? I thank him. I said, Baba, I came because I hear say there is an altar in this land that is reacting. And that altar belongs to our family. And it needs sacrifice, blood, even human sacrifice. And you're the only last surviving human being in this world who knows where the altar is, and you know the procedure and the protocol for the sacrifice. So Baba, I have come to you so that you will take me to that altar, so that I will do the sacrifice, so that this nonsense will stop. Baba said to me, my son, you are a very wise boy. I should follow him. That's where we enter the evil forest. I don't have time to talk about the evil forest. We enter that place. That's the place where trees will talk to you and tell you, if you try to cut us, we finish you. We enter the evil forest. As we enter that evil forest, Baba said to me, my son, it is not one altar, there are three. I said, whether 3 or 33, I have gone too far, no going back. Let's go. We came to the first one. Baba said, my son, this is the first altar. This one is Efiong. I said, Efiong again? He said, yes, there was a time your people were looking for male children. When they could not see the male children, they sacrificed to the water spirit, Efiong. That is how all of you are from the water. I said, Baba, it's not me. I'm not from the water. But I used to see myself in the water. I was a pastor. I preach in the daytime. In the nighttime, I'm in the water. I used to see myself fighting with python. That is how some of you are here. You are in the water. That's how some of you see yourself in your father's house. That's how some of you see yourself sleeping with a man, a spirit being in the night. That is telling you there is another altar where you are consecrated. Tonight, satanic altar shall be uprooted. Evil foundation shall be uprooted. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Ghost. I'll mark that place. We move. We came to the second altar. Baba said, this is the second one. That your papa, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, they used to operate this one. This one is Efiong. This is the one they used to change from human being to crocodile, from crocodile back to human being. If you need it, I can revive for you. I said, Baba, let it remain there here too. I mark that one. We move. We came again to another place. Baba said, my son, this place you are standing is the third altar. This one is the main. I said, hey. So those other ones are small one. You say, my son, you don't understand. In the whole of Calabar, this is the major altar of your land. And it belongs directly to your lineage and your family. And young man, you are the next person to take over as the high priest of this altar. I have been kept alive to coronate you and ordain you and consecrate you and dedicate you and initiate you. I said, all of those one, only me. He said, yes. Are you ready? I said, yes, I am ready, Baba. Do it now. He said, my son, it's not cheap like that. This altar needs consecration. You will go back to Calabar, you will enter 30-day fasting. You don't know that even witches and wizards, they used to fast. Native doctor, they used to fast. You call yourself born again. 3 days, common 7-day fasting, you cannot fast. Your Christianity is year one. He said you will go 30-day fast. When you finish the 30 days, and even the 30 days, make sure you don't sleep with any woman. You don't touch woman. Eat the food of woman. Even hold the hand of woman. Anything woman, stay clear. Number 3, when you have finished the fast and finished the consecration, you prepare the sacrifice. There's a sacrifice for Efiong altar, Efiong, but this one, Baba begin to mention the thing I will bring for this altar. Including human beings, I will sacrifice. He said, will you be able to bring this thing? I said, Baba, I will bring all. He said, you are a very strong man. You are the correct person to handle this altar. I said, yes, Baba, I will handle this altar very, very well. Baba said to me, when you collect the sacrifice, number 4 law, you don't come to this place, this evil forest. You don't come here on an ordinary day. You come in the midnight. From 12 midnight is when you enter here. Number 5, don't come on an ordinary season. You have to come only when there is full moon. Number 6, when you enter this circle, you remove your shoe. It's a holy ground. And when you follow the law and procedure, there is a big black pot inside the ground, a black cauldron, very big pot. It is now inside this earth, about 6 feet inside. You cannot see it with your physical eyes. Even if you dig now, you will not get it. It's there in the spiritual realm. But when you follow this procedure and offer the correct sacrifice, that pot, it will come out from the ground physically. And it will hang in the mid-air. And the pot will be smoking with fire. When you see that thing coming out from the ground, you know you have succeeded. Then you tell the oracle what you need and he will give you what you're looking for. I say, Baba, thank you. I gave Baba some amount of money and I returned back to Calabar. When I go to Calabar, I call my wife. By that time I have married. I called my wife. I said, beloved, come on. When you marry me, you thought you married a very clean man. Clean. White. European. Pointed nose. Educated. Very clean. But you didn't know that inside this pointed nose, all the demon of Calabar is inside. So my wife, you have to follow me to my village. I'm not from London again. I'm from one terrible village, at one terrible place called Creektown. You have to follow me to my village for my deliverance.